Lindsay Williams with Flatiron School's Employer Partnerships team. Welcome to tonight's event. I'll start with a quick intro and then I'll turn it over to our guests. We are very pleased to have talent development experts Samantha McCoy and Sydney Morris here with us today from Cognixia. As you may know, Cognixia is a digital talent and org transformation partner with a focus on future-proofing the modern workforce. And we are joined by, as I said, members of their talent development team who will share more about a brand new program. We're super excited. They're launching called Cognixia Connect, which they're going to tell you all about. It's a program designed to provide some technical learning and training, some guidance in exchange for some opportunities. So it's definitely an opportunity we want to keep on your radar. And to Sam and Sydney, thank you so much for being here. I'll hand it over to you guys.
Thank you, Lindsay, for the opportunity to have us here again. I know we did another one of these a few months ago, but we are doing kind of a rebrand situation with Cognixia, and we've got a new program coming up called, as Lindsay already said, Cognixia Connect. And basically, it's just a partnership where we're trying to build relationships with Flatiron graduates, other individuals looking for their first entry-level position in the workforce, and just building relationships with you all. And in the meantime, as that is progressing, we're going to be sending out different technical learnings throughout the weeks and everything like that. If this is something that interests you, you can definitely let us know at the end of this whole presentation. But I've been with Cognixia for about a little over 3 years now. And yeah, it's been awesome. It's been quite a journey just with the market and everything. And then now doing this new program, I'm very excited about it and seeing what's to come with it. Sam, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name's Sam. I've been with Cognixia for almost 2 years, so it's been really fun to kind of see this program transform into what it currently is now. So really excited to go over this with all of you today because I think it's something new that we really don't see out in the market currently. So just really excited to show you all.
Yes, very unique program. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Sam and Lindsay, does this look good to you all?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. So I'll tell you a little bit of a backstory, I guess, to Cognixia before we dive into it, because I think this program will make a lot of sense. So Cognixia is primarily owned by a larger company called Ascendion. And Ascendion is a staffing sort of firm that partners and works with different Fortune 500 companies. So Cognixia primarily focuses on entry-level talent for Ascendion's clients. And sometimes what they need from these different teams are very niche technical stacks, or maybe there's these custom stacks that they're looking for in the workforce, and they need help finding that talent. So Cognixia is that smaller company owned by Ascendion, where we actually have training and different learnings that we provide to entry-level talent to partner with these Fortune 500 clients. So basically, we train you and then we send you to a full-time position with one of Ascendion's clients once you have learned and gained experience under our expert technical trainers. And that's why we love to partner with Flatiron, because they give such incredible foundational knowledge. And then we can take that knowledge and build off of it to help improve for our Fortune 500 clients in their specific needs. So hopefully that gives you a gist of the backstory of like how we kind of run things. And then now we're going to get into the new program that we're going to be running called Cognixia Connect. Let's see, there we go. So the objective of Cognixia Connect, it's designed to provide guidance and technical learnings, just as we mentioned, that's what we specialize in. So we have tons of projects, tons of materials, amazing instructors to provide you with these different technical learnings to professionals like yourself looking to get your foot in the door in exchange for a willingness to kind of entertain and accept opportunities through Cognixia. So what that means is, as we are building relationships, as you are in the Connect program, we are going to be giving you these different learnings and material to continuously upskill yourself while we have different opportunities arising with our clients. Our deployment team would be in contact with you about future entry-level roles with us. And not only that, we've got Samantha here. Not only is she a talent development expert, but she is actually our coach as well. So she could potentially be working with you all before you do interviews with our clients to help provide any sort of support, mock interview role plays, and things like that. So you will be provided all sorts of support before you go into these interviews with these clients as well. So in order to receive positions from us as they come in, we do have expectations for you throughout Connect. So that is passing the screening process that's going to be in this document. Me and Sam are going to cover that with you after this. They agree to plan on accepting a role that they interview for. You can reject roles. You don't have to be essentially open to relocation fully. We do ask if there's a couple places that you're open to. We have some primary location areas on the East Coast that we're focused on, and we can go into some more detail about that at the end. But you are more than welcome to reject roles, but you would have to ask within reason. Obviously provide reviews and feedback on any material shared. So a lot of our instructors put a lot of time and effort on the projects that we send out. So we do ask that you obviously meet the deadlines, submit those projects to us in a timely manner. And when we do ask for feedback on certain things, to please provide that as well. And then of course, communication, if you are no longer in the market. So we're, marketing you out. This is a networking opportunity for us to provide you entry-level roles from clients, but you can also still put yourself on the market as well and interview with other clients at this time. So we just ask, if you do get another opportunity outside of this program, just let us know. And that's really all this is technical learnings, communication, and us providing you support for when interviews come up.
Awesome. So like Sydney mentioned, in order to join the Connect program and to start receiving roles from us, you will have to go through our screening process and pass it. So to take you through step by step what that looks like for you, the first step is going to be a webinar, which is going to be a one-on-one interview with either myself or Sydney. And pretty much this is our opportunity to get to know you, your background, maybe if you're a career changer, we can kind of learn about what made you want to make this switch. We'll talk about the different roles that you're open to, such as if you're looking for Java developer roles, or if you're looking for data analyst positions. We want to make sure that we jot down all of your preferences so that we are marketing you out. We're able to kind of align your preferences to the roles that we have coming in. We'll also go through location with you. So we'll kind of chat about if you are open to relocation or not. Maybe you're open to just a few locations. Maybe you're not open to relocation. This is something that we will discuss together. And then we'll also chat through compensation and what you're currently looking to make within the market. Usually with a lot of positions that we do see that are entry level are going to be roughly around 25 an hour. But that is something that we can discuss a little bit further in that one-on-one session. Also on this call, we're going to go through the expectations of our program in terms of communication, roles being sent out, and market details as well. But if you're trying to figure out if you're going to be a quality candidate of ours and be one of those ones that is going to be strong, pretty much what we really mainly look for is really strong communication skills. So seeing if you're able to explain your past experience, explain projects that you've previously worked on in a concise manner that's very easy to follow along, especially for someone like us who is a little bit non-technical. So that's going to be a really big thing that we look out for. You'll also just need a bachelor's degree. It does not matter what your degree is in, since you all went through the Flatiron training. So it doesn't matter what background you do have. We're really open to anyone as long as you just have that degree in hand. We want to make sure that everyone entering this program just has that desire and motivation to just continue learning. Having a continuous learning mindset is something that a lot of clients really want their individuals on their team to have. They're gonna want you to just continuously upskill yourselves once you are on that client site. So we want to kind of set that kind of motion right at the start of the program so that it's something that is kind of second nature to you before you walk onto that client site. And lastly, again, locations, that's something that we'll chat about a little bit further. But again, the more flexible you are, the more positions that you'll be able to apply for.
Awesome. And yeah, once you complete that initial screening process with one of us, just checking off those boxes, making sure we're the right fit for you. The next steps would be 2 self-paced assessments. This is just to help evaluate that, your where you're at in tech and your journey aligns with what our clients are looking for. So we do ask that you have a passing grade of a 75% or better. We actually have a program coming up, a Cognixia Connect program coming up on July 15th would be the start date. That would actually all be in Java and software engineering. And then we've got another one coming up in August for data individuals. So the technical glider assessment will be based off of which group you would be placed in. So we'll have a data custom assessment for that course. And then we'll have one also for the Java course. And then we also have the soft skill review, which is basically just kind of that behavioral assessment, making sure, if you're in certain situations, in the corporate world that you would know how to handle it, different scenario-based questions. So super simple. Those would be the 2 that you would have to make a 75% or better. So yeah.
Awesome. Now, once you do submit both of those assessments, they get evaluated and your recruiter discusses the feedback provided on them. Then you're going to move into the 3rd step, which is a technical e-learning course and project. Since all of the material that you'll be receiving during the Connect program is all going to be self-paced and really all on you to do at your own time, we want you to be able to showcase your ability to actually learn in an e-learning environment. And so what we're going to be doing is based off of what group you're joining, either Java or data, you're going to be receiving what we call a bridge course, which goes over the fundamentals. It really just gives you a nice refresher of the technology itself. Now, when we do send this out, it is all up on our YouTube and it's all in one playlist, making it very easy to go through. But in the last video, it's going to discuss a project that you all will need to submit. This project is going to be done through Glider, which you should all be familiar with, since that's the exact same platform that you utilize for these 2 assessments. Once you complete that project, make sure you send it over to your respective recruiter and let them know that it's submitted so that someone is able to take a look for you.
Awesome. And then that would be really the final step. Once you complete that project, it is very important that you meet the deadline for all of these different steps, that the communication is strong. That is something that's huge in this entire process, because we need individuals that are reliable, that are taking it seriously. So that's a huge criteria, is that you are meeting those deadlines and answering and everything. So when everything gets passed, obviously the next step is the entrance into Connect. Depending on which group you would be in, if it would be the Java software engineering or the data engineering, obviously those have 2 different start dates. That's when we would have the ability to go ahead and start sending roles to you. So every 2 weeks, we would be following up with you, just making sure everything's all good in your job search. If we have any updates to give you on roles coming in from us, and also sending those technical assessments. We have one of our expert instructors, Sean, that will be sending out emails. You will get a new project every 2 weeks to work on. Usually it's about 5 hours worth of work for each week. So not too much. It's about 3 to 5 hours, just depending on that project. But it's more than likely going to be more so on that 5-hour side of things. And basically what we're going to be able to do is submit you for roles and try to get you placed as soon as possible. And like I said, that does come with the coaching on Samantha's side if we do have a role for you down the line. And then also that please note there is going to be further screening down the road. So you might have to do maybe a live coding session or maybe a more behavioral sort of assessment based off those clients. So sometimes those managers have other rounds that they would like to do for you. The cool thing is that we are that looking glass into these hiring managers, and we have those relationships with them. So we do kind of get that inside scoop from them on what that's going to look like. So that's why Sam would be able to prep you accordingly and everything like that. So it's awesome.
Perfect. So now let's discuss what exactly the program is going to offer you. So first and foremost, all of the technical material that we will be providing you with. So on a bi-weekly basis, we will be releasing different material, just like Sydney said, roughly about 5 hours a week, really just to help hone in on those already existing skills so that when you do transition onto a client site, you're a lot more comfortable and you know what to expect walking in as well. Now, in terms of the material that you'll be receiving in all of those e-learnings, there's going to be a variety of different things. First and foremost, during your first release, you'll be receiving a resume formatting video that I actually put together just so that we can get your resume ready to go so we can start marketing you out. There will be different technical learning paths. So maybe if there's a specific technology that is really in demand with our clients currently, we'll go ahead and send you that e-learning so that you can really start learning that technology and really enhancing your skill set there. We'll also send out different podcast tech talks. Now, our company, we do have our own podcast. We're actually currently waiting for the final release of our Gen AI mini series. I know a couple of you I did send that out to, but that's going to be another really great avenue to keep up to date in what's happening within the industry, because that's a really big component of being successful in this industry is knowing what's going on around it. We will also provide different Gen AI programs. Our team really loves generative AI. I think every single one of us could probably talk for hours about it, but it is something that we really want you all to learn and develop skills within because it is an up and coming technology, and a lot of our clients are looking for candidates that have skills within it. So we'll again provide you different e-learnings to really get comfortable utilizing AI models. We'll also have a webinar workshop about once a month. That could be anything from learning about Azure or AWS prep if maybe you're looking to get your certification one day. Now, those workshops will be invitation only. So when you are in this program, make sure that you are kind of checking off all the boxes within our expectations, because those individuals are going to be the ones that get those invitations first for these workshops. And then lastly, as Cindy said, you will be receiving also different coaching material and interview prep videos as well so that you feel best prepared walking into that interview scenario. Now, another big thing of Cognixia Connect is also the roles that we are providing you. So really the main reason for why we wanted to create this program was to really help individuals like yourself get set up in these technology careers with our clients. And so as physicians come through to us, we're going to be sending them your way. And you just have to let us know if you're interested in it. And if you're not, just let us know why you're not. It's totally okay. You can reject roles, but just give us a reason so that we know that you did see the position. But if you are interested in a role, then we'll go ahead and submit you over to the client and then hopefully get those further screenings set up for you. Since this is going to be a widespread release across everyone within the program, it is mostly going to be a first come, first serve, especially if they have a limited amount of resumes they do want to see. So make sure you are checking your email very thoroughly so that you're not missing any positions that are being sent your way. And again, There is no obligation to accept roles with us, and there is no guarantee of placement since this is not a train to hire program. It's really just us providing you technical material while we hopefully, are able to market you out for roles with our clients. But we do hope that if you do go on an interview with one of our clients, that you are leaning towards taking that role with them. Now, lastly, talking about interview preparation, like Sydney mentioned, you'll be getting a lot of prep on that end of the house. So when you're selected for an interview, you will have enough time in advance to make sure that you're prepared thoroughly for it. So you'll meet one-on-one with one of our technical instructors to go through the technical side of things, understand what technologies are going to be specifically covered in that interview with the client. And then you'll also be meeting with me for more of just an interview role play, so you can kind of get used to being in that environment. I'll be able to kind of dive into more of the soft skills side of the house. So giving you feedback on, let's say, the delivery of your responses, maybe tweaking things here and there to just enhance your answer overall. And these will align with the Cognixia staff work hours. So we are in the office from 8:30 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. So all of these prep sessions will be somewhere within that window. And then again, just depending on what the client needs, we may provide you extra trainings if need be, just so that we can make sure you're good to go when you do go on that interview with them.
All right. So that was a wonderful run through on everything that is involved within, well, in terms of material and things covered. Now I kind of want to dive into communication expectations. So I'm actually the leader of this side of the house. I've got to make sure that people are doing what they need to do, like meeting deadlines and things like that, because there are expectations on client side, of course. Meeting deadlines, being, having great communication with us as your recruiter is so important. It's what gets you ahead, because if you don't have those skills of reliability and communication, it will set you back in the long haul on your job site as well. So we got to make sure that everything is all clear. Everybody is doing well on communication. So that's the big thing here. We're going to do our best to supply relevant roles as they do come to us. And realizing the market, we will be honest with you, as of late, it has been up and down. And there may be times where there aren't roles relatable to a candidate's expectations. We do ask if there is a role that is matching or is close to a candidate's expectation, that they do respond to the position or interested, or even if not, just as Samantha mentioned as well earlier. We also ask that there is a genuine interest, and that the expectation is that the candidate accepts the role if offered. Failure to attend an interview. So let's say if, John decides that, yes, I would love to take on this role, and he does respond to our deployment team and says that he's interested, and we lock down an interview time and the data set, invites are sent out, and let's say he decides to ghost and not show up to the interview. That is going to result in complete removal from the program. That is our standard here. We want to be reliable, like I said, and that is, obviously a deal breaker there. So like I said, communication, acknowledging and reviewing emails, making sure you're responding in a timely manner, meeting those material deadlines, roles from Cognixia. When you get those emails, please respond. And additionally, candidates will be provided projects and those exercises to be completed and turned in. This is going to allow for further learning, to upskill yourself continuously, staying in the know of what's out there, and confirmation of understanding and potentially more opportunities as they increase their technical skill set. So when those projects are sent out, respond that you received them. That's literally it. And then Cognixia is also going to arrange those multiple check-ins. So me and Sam, as your recruiter, every 2 weeks, will be calling you, just building relationship with you, seeing how you're doing, if you need anything on our end, seeing how the projects are going, if you've been working on that, and giving you updates to potential roles. And we are also probably will ask you about, how the job market is for you. Also, feedback is super important as well. As Cognixia is sharing material from e-learning, trainings, and podcasts, you're going to be getting all sorts of different things. We do ask candidate views the resource and provides feedback bi-weekly. And what that just essentially means is sent and you do receive them. We'll be checking in with you on that following check-in call, and we'll be sending you over maybe a little survey. And honestly, the reason why we also want to do this is that it helps the instructors too. It helps them improve on projects and things like that. And we also require interview feedback as well. So when you do get sent over for an interview, we'll ask how it goes, and we'll need information about that too. So and like we all mentioned, this is mandatory for us. We will be tracking and making sure that you're being reliable and submitting things on time. I think I've been over that like 5,000 times today because that's how important it is. But yeah, so that is essentially everything that we wanted to cover. Let's see. Oops. So that's Cognixia Connect all in one go. So if anybody has questions, I think I'm going to have to stop sharing my screen to see it a little bit better. But yeah, does anyone have questions for me and Sam on Cognixia Connect, the market, advice? We're here for it all. So shoot anything our way.
This is great. I wanted to start with Angelo's. He's got a few questions. So we'll take one and then maybe bounce back and forth between his and some other folks. He was asking, Angelo was asking if you have a placement rate, which sounds like you probably don't have that yet because it's a brand new program. But is there like a bench, like let's say, you enter the program, what does a bench look like? Can you get stuck on it, expiration period, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so the good thing about this program is that there is no bench. You are free to do as long as you're doing the projects and the extra work. I mean, this is free resources that we're giving you because you're not, on a bench essentially. We are literally just giving you this to upskill you, to make you better for interviews and things like that, and be relevant to the market as it's constantly changing. I mean, this is the fastest the market has been changing, especially technology. So staying up to speed on things, we're giving you all these free resources. So in return, we just ask that you are, sending us updates, things like that, but that's it. So you are free to do as you please. And then also the placement rate, as Samantha mentioned, on average for these junior developer positions, we're seeing around $25 an hour. These are something that we can discuss further in our initial calls or one-on-ones. As we do know, location is a huge factor of, how much that you're going to be offered. So for example, hypothetically speaking, if you get a job in Texas, that's more than likely going to be $25 an hour versus if you get a role in New Jersey, that's going to be closer to probably about $35 an hour. So it really just depends on the cost of living adjustments and things like that. But we do, pretty much most of these roles are going to be around 25.
Great. Thank you, Cindy. Is it a contract position? Tell us more about contract stuff.
Yeah, so it is a contract, and we call it contract to hire, which means the thing about this is that they could be a year long. Some of them could be 2 years long. It really depends on the project and what that client is looking for. But contract roles are very common in this industry. As we all know, there is project-based work within tech, and that's all that is that when a big company needs help finding talent, or they've got too many teams or sub teams going on all at once, they need to get a third party involved, or someone like Ascendion who specializes in that sort of thing to kind of find that talent for them. So that's what that contract is. And what to hire means is that if you go on site with on one of these roles, and let's say it's a year-long contract, and let's say you do super, super well in that contract, the ultimate goal is to get that contract transferred over to full-time with that client. So that's all it means, and that usually comes with a big pay raise as well. And also contracts, it can also, like your benefits, your pay, all that comes from us at Cognixia, but who you report to and who you're working with on your team, all that you put on your resume will be with the client, if that makes sense.
Excellent. We got a few people asking if there are opportunities in cyber, and I'm gonna couch that with another question, which is, you've got a Java program. I know you guys know we don't teach Java specifically, but talk to us about sort of like both which disciplines are, you know, best suited, which types of individuals, and what kinds of support someone might receive if they don't have, let's say Java as an example going into it.
You want to answer that one, Sam?
Yeah, I can take that. So for anyone who doesn't have Java experience, and let's say they learned Python within Flatiron, we would push you for the Data Connect, since it'd be building upon a lot of the skills that you've already learned in that. Because again, this program is more about enhancing your skills, not necessarily teaching you everything, because our goal is to have a fast turnaround when it does come to these roles coming in. So your time within this program can really depend on what the market looks like at that point. So we don't want you to have to cram in a ton of information in, let's say, like a month, and then just throw you onto a client site using a technology that you've only been utilizing for a month. So we are going to kind of keep you towards where your current discipline is within, because that's going to be what you're most comfortable utilizing in a little bit of a larger capacity. So obviously, like we mentioned, we have a Java one coming up and a data. So majority of you are probably going to be pushed more towards that data side of the house. We'll be working for Python developer roles, data analysts, data scientists, data engineering roles as well. Really mainly focusing on a lot of the technical stack that you guys are already using within this. Now, in terms of cybersecurity, it's not a big market that we're in currently, because it is a very niche market, especially for entry-level talent. Now, eventually, we may come out with different Connect programs that kind of focus on those more specialized areas. We just don't have a definitive date just yet, because really haven't seen those positions kind of come through. It's been mainly either the Java or the data side of the house. So if we do end up kind of having more of those specialized areas, we'll definitely let you guys know when those do come up for us.
That's great. Thank you so much for that. Very helpful. Angela's got some follow-up questions about contract, which I know there are a lot of T's and C's probably to cover within a contract. Are there stipulations in your contract for breaking it? You know, I'm sure all of that was covered in sort of the language before, where they get that before they have to accept it. How does that work?
Yes, so they will get that before they accept anything, and it's a normal jobs contract, so there's like no breach involved or anything like that.
No financial responsibility to return, because we're not paying you during this program, right? So
Exactly.
there's nothing to return there. Okay. Angela, hope that answered your question. Let us know if we need to clarify. I'm going to hop back up to another one. Relocation versus remote. Are any, like, can you specify any costs, if any costs are covered for relo, what those might be?
It really depends on the client. Some clients we can, it goes into that hourly rate. I do know, because like that relocation piece, if you go into a higher cost of living area, we will consider that relocation reimbursement. It really just depends on the location, on the client, but however, we cannot guarantee that there will be any sort of relocation reimbursement on these roles. It really just varies, because we just don't know, you know, the bill rate and things like that with these different clients. So that's something that we would have to look into on a custom basis.
Got it. And are there any remote opportunities, or is it all on site?
That is the biggest question that we get, I feel like. Unfortunately, a lot of these companies are like kind of rearing away from it, especially with the entry level opportunities. I think because you are a junior developer, they want you on site because they want you to be able to collaborate with the team and things like that. So yeah, I think from right now, we don't actually have a lot of remote roles coming in. And if we do, they get scooped up super quickly. We've got a long list of people that would be open to that. I know everybody wants remote, but fortunately, I see why they want you in office for sure. It is so great as a junior developer to just be on site. You get to be with mentors in person, senior developers in person that are going to be able to help you and guide you. It's so much quicker when you're on site. And this is me coming from a remote person with my job. Things get done a lot quicker when you are with your team in person. So I totally get it. So I would say like we don't really have too much remote right now.
That's great market information. We've got a few other questions. Some people are asking about how to get started. So I just dropped into the chat a link to our Hunter job posting that also includes the instructions on how to indicate interest, which, correct me if I'm wrong, send both of you an email with your resume indicating your interest in the program. And that is the way to get started. Anything else you'd add on that?
I think that's it. And if anybody's in here, I know we sent out a job posting on Hunter, or Lindsay, I know you did, for Cognixia Connect a few weeks ago. We still have those lists of individuals that we are sporadically running through. I will definitely be taking some time next week to reach out if any of you guys have already reached out to me. We've got a long list of individuals on there. So we're slowly but surely making our way through that list, but we see you and we will be responding to get you through the process and see if this opportunity is a good fit.
Cool. That's great. Any other locations to share at this point? I know you mentioned Texas, New Jersey.
Yeah.
What else?
We need to cover that. So our biggest locations right now is Virginia and Texas. It would be Richmond and McLean, Virginia, with our client at Capital One. And then we've got some other banking clients out in Texas, Houston, and Dallas, mostly Dallas though, in Plano, Texas. And then also listed is Charlotte, North Carolina, New Jersey area sometimes, and Tampa, Florida is kind of big for us. But those are the main location areas for our opportunities.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Make sure I cover some other questions. I know we're coming up on time here. John asks if folks who are still studying at Flatiron can participate. From my side of things, I don't see any issue with that. I think, the question would be, how far from graduating are you so that you're available to actually be, on a client site doing full-time work?
Definitely. That would be the answer to that question too. I think graduates is more what we're looking for, but because I just don't know about workload and things like that. And we would love for you to have when we do, because you might be in Cognixia Connect for only a week or 2 weeks, and we might have an interview set up for you within that time frame. And if you're not already a graduate from Flatiron, it might hold you back a little bit. I mean, they're going to know that you're in the program, but having that Flatiron graduation on your belt, on your resume and completed looks a lot better to our clients than if you're still in the process. So I would say with our Connect and our program, definitely be graduated. That would be a criteria.
Great. Great. Yeah, highly recommend staying the course. It's hard to do both. Meaning like do Flatiron School and pretty much anything else.
Yeah.
Kudos to those of you who are working at the same time. It's really impressive.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right. I think this covers everything. Let me just make sure. I'm going to drop into the chat again. If you could just take a moment to give us some feedback on today's event, we would really appreciate it. Here's the link to our survey. Sydney, Sam? Thank you both so much. This is really exciting to hear about, and just a tremendous resource for people to gain additional skills, gain additional access to training, interview prep, interview coach, client access, really tremendous for the right person. So thank you for taking your evening to share more about it. Hope you all have a wonderful 4th. Safe travels, Sydney. Enjoy your day, whatever it is that you'll be doing on that day, Sam, and to the rest of you, the same.